Hi, everyone. Welcome to our Wealth, Health, and Self-Care Summit. This summit will be focused on falling in love with your purpose, taking care of you so that you can be all and do all the things you were designed to do. There is someone in you, there is another you inside of you that is just waiting to be released. But guess what? You might be so bogged down with everything that's going on around you or distracted by the situations around you that you haven't fully tapped into everything that's within you. So, we have an amazing lineup of speakers who are going to help you think about you and the actions you can take to fill yourself up so that you can really take advantage of this year. 2024 is a powerful year. If you add up the numbers in 2024, you get 8. 8 is the year of wealth, career success, prosperity, and leadership. And if you're able to fully take advantage of that, you will not, I repeat, you will not be the same person you are today. So, who do we have in the chat joining us right now? Type in the chat, let me know where you are calling in from, where you are joining us from. I am from Chicago. Is there anyone else here from Chicago? If so, make sure you subscribe to chicagosouthsider.substack.com. I'll put it in the chat, chicagosouthsider.substack.com, if you want more events like this, because we are trying to make sure we give back to our community by showcasing all the resources that are available for you, because you do not have to do this alone. You do not have to do this alone. And I want to make sure that you understand that. That's one of the hardest lessons I had to learn. I don't have to be Superwoman. There's somebody out there with the gifts that can do a much better job at some of the things that I may need help with, or the vision that's in my mind. We don't have to do it all. And as soon as we realize that, we can unlock so many opportunities in our lives and be fulfilled by them and not stressed by the success that's coming our way. So, who do we have in the chat? As you know, if you've attended any of our previous Wealth, Health, and Self-Care Summits, we like to create gold friends. Who are those friends that you can find at these networking events who can help you get to the next level on your journey? Maybe it's somebody you're looking for accountability. Maybe you're looking to connect with an author because your goal is to become an author and you want to hang around like-minded authors. What is your goal? Type that in the chat, because you never know who is in the chat and who can probably be that key to help you get where you need to be, because there's somebody on this chat who has what you need. And guess what? You also have what somebody else needs. So don't be afraid to use that chat feature, right? There's a chat, a comment section on YouTube that you can use to connect with us. I have my cell phone and the speakers have their cell phones with them. So we'll be chatting and commenting throughout this entire session. So what's in store for you today? Well, we are going to do some breathing. I don't know when the last time you took a breath, you paused, but pausing can position you for greater things. Just pausing, taking that break, being able to reflect. So we will do that. I have an instructor, a fitness instructor here, who's going to take us through some breathing exercises. And then I have a phenomenal individual who makes sure she gets her walks in every day and shares it on Facebook Live. What motivation do you need to get you going? I'm going to bring up Dr. Shena Johnson so that she can talk about her journey, her commitment, her why. You need a compelling why to keep you going on your journey so that you can stay accountable to the goals you have for yourself. And we have more speakers who are going to provide you with resources. That's the goal. All right, let me see. I see some people. We have somebody from Chicago. Hey, from Chicago. Oh, I see New Jersey in the house. Hey, New Jersey. Thank you all for joining me. Make sure you get your pen and paper. Make sure you take notes. I will be sharing the Instagram and social media accounts for the speakers, so make sure you connect with the speakers. I'm going to give the speakers more time to come backstage. I am going to give you more time to position yourself to receive all this information, because sometimes there's information that we need, but guess what? We are not ready to receive it. We are not positioned to receive it. So do what you need to do, right? Do what you need to do. Turn off the distractions, whatever you need to get what you need to receive today. And if you are looking to go from where you are to where you want to be, because you know there's a goal deep down inside of you that's been just speaking to you for years, for decades, and you keep running from it. If you know there's a goal inside of you, take action. Put in a comment, I plan to take some action. I wrote a book, Dividends Are a Queen's Best Friend, in 2019. And if you want to learn the basics of how to start investing from scratch and how easy it is to invest, just like you're shopping at the mall, take a look at Dividends Are a Queen's Best Friend. I've had so many great reviews. You can check out the reviews on Amazon. It's a beginner-friendly, female-friendly book that helps you think about investing in a certain way so that you can get started. Sometimes the doubts in our head are keeping us from the best years ahead. Well, erase those doubts, right? We are at this Wealth, Health, and Self-Care Summit so that we can fill ourselves up with what we need to go forward with the vision in front of us. So I am not going to hold off any longer. I know you are ready to get started. So I am about to bring up our speakers. Thank you for joining us. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel at Wealthy Women Daily. And make sure you meet some gold friends in the chat. Use that chat feature to get yourself out there, to share who you are. Don't be alone on this journey. Let's try to connect. That's the purpose of this. I want to connect with you. The speakers want to connect with you. Let's all connect. Let's all meet our goals together. All right. We are about to start. So get ready for the Wealth, Health, and Self-Care Summit. I want to set the tone for today's Wealth, Health, and Self-Care Summit. I don't want you to think that you are here just to listen. No, you are here to take action and make changes. So we are going to start with those essentials right now before we even get started. I have Dr. Shena Johnson with us. And I have her here today because I have been so inspired by her walks. She has been consistently promoting her walks on Facebook. And I believe we need to start being intentional about the things we do every morning to focus on our Wealth, Health, and Self-Care Summit. So Dr. Shena Johnson, CEO of A Better You, how are you?
I am blessed. Thank you so much for including me in this power-packed conference. Listen, I know that your audience is about to be blessed. They're about to get their bellies full of all of this information. But I am so glad that you asked me to join you, because I just want to show people that this is practical stuff that we can do. This is stuff that we can implement. We can incorporate it in our day-to-day life, even with your busyness. Now, I am the queen of busyness. But I've learned that we have to make certain that we are empowering ourselves and that we are taking charge. So even in your busyness, you can make certain that you are putting this on your to-do list, because we all got a to-do list, right? We all got our calendars, our agenda. I was telling a friend of mine the other day, child, I don't go too far away from this calendar. I mean, I got to have my planner at my side. If I'm in the living room, it's in the living room with me. If I'm in the bedroom, it's in the bedroom with me, because I have to stay ready. So when I write it down, I am then committed to doing it. And walking is one of those things that I have committed to doing. I am committed to doing it.
Yes, so let's talk about that, because some of us don't get a chance to walk all the time. Maybe we are working remotely at home, or maybe we're just going to work in our cars at the desk. How do we start this? How did you get started on your walking journey?
Now, I got started on my walking journey. I started walking the day after I fired my employer.
Ooh,
Now,
ooh.
I don't want everybody to run out and fire their employer, right? Because they're our best investors sometimes. So I'm not saying that you need to get to that point, but sometimes you have to be so intentional and you've got to declare what it is that you're going to do. And what I was saying is that my health and my well being is of the utmost importance. I know you want me to be great at, because I was a corporate facilitator and trainer. But I know you want me to be great with that. But in order for me to be great at that, I got to be great to myself.
Yes.
So I found that it was hard, and I don't want people to think that I just quit my job just because they wouldn't let me walk. No, no, no. I was not putting myself first. And I went through a season after having surgery. My body just was not recovering the way I had thought I was going to recover. I thought a week after I was going to be back up running around the country, and that wasn't the case. So I had to literally reprioritize my well-being. And part of that reprioritization was saying that, you know what? I need to start my day. I need to get back focused on my morning routines. And my morning routines included me walking, it included me praying, it included me reading my word to make certain that I was charged with everything that I needed to get started. And it just so happened that I released my employer because I felt as though I was required to come back to work and to perform at top function when my body was saying otherwise. My body was saying, no, Shaniqua, you still need to spend some time with me. So I had to make the choice, and the choice was made. I relinquished the position, but what I did gain was I gained a better relationship with me. And it starts with you being intentional, right? You got to say what you mean and you got to mean what you say. So if you say you're going to start your day with a walk, then you need to do it.
Yes, make it a part of your to-do list. The first
Yeah,
thing on your to-do
that's
list.
it.
I had to start doing that. Now I do 30-minute walks every day. If I can, at least 30 minutes. Sometimes I try to get my 10,000 steps in on the
Uh-huh.
Fitbit or try to be an overachiever because I want to make sure I'm overachieving where it
Yes.
matters, right? So
Yes.
anybody out there, start doing your walks, right? Start doing something. If you can't run, walk.
Walk.
Start with those walks, release all those toxins,
Yes.
right? Get your body going and ready for what's ahead. So that's the purpose of the Wealth, Health, and Self Care Summit so that you can start to put you first. But another piece of this health puzzle is making sure you have your water. We always have our water. So if you don't have your water with you, go get your water, right?
Yes.
Go get your
Yes.
water right now. And Shaniqua, do you know how much water we should be drinking every day?
Listen, as long as you don't have any restrictions, because I'm a registered nurse by profession, I always tell people, I understand some people have certain medical conditions where they cannot drink an abundance of water, but we should have anywhere from 8 to 10 glasses of water per day. 8 to 10. And sometimes it's so hard. Oh my goodness. But what I
Yes.
find is that if I start early, like from the moment I get up, I'm then able to get it all in and stop. I have a cutoff time. Like I got to stop by 5 p.m. 5, 6 p.m. because otherwise I'm gonna be, in the bathroom all night long and I don't want my sleep disturbed. But if I start my day, and I usually use a 32-ounce glass, and I usually fill that up with water first thing in the morning. And this is after my walk. So once I do my walk, I come back home. And what I really like to start my day with is a cup of warm water. Sometimes it's tea, other times it's just simply warm water, because that does help to flush all of the mucus and all of the impurities from overnight. So starting your day with a nice, warm cup of water, hot cup of water. You could put a little lemon, little lime in it if you want. And then once I've returned from my walk, that's when I shift into my big gulp and I have my big cup of water. And one of the supplements because I'm a supplement queen, one of the supplements that I love to put in it is a liquid IV. And what that does, it's, for lack of a better term, it's like an optimizer. So it really power packs the water that you're drinking so that your cells get all of the benefits and all of the goodness from it. So I start my day. So after the warm cup of water, then I go into the shift of my 32 ounces of a nice, cool, refreshing drink. And then I keep it next to me so that I remind myself, right? Because if you put it and it's hiding, you're not going to know it. But once you see it, it's in your view, it reminds you that you do need to drink your water. And if you're like me, you're taking supplements, or maybe you have medications that you have to take, drink it with a full glass of water. So don't just, get the pills down and say, oh, I'm going to put the water down. No, drink the full glass. And that's a way of forcing yourself to get at least 1, 2, 3 cups of water in per day, and then building from that.
Oh, those are good tips, because I used to forget to drink water, and I sometimes do. So I had to schedule it. I use Slack to schedule my water breaks every day to make sure I incorporate it into my plan. So thanks for that. There are so many studies about how much water you should be drinking. And I've seen, as a general rule of thumb, you should try to drink between half an ounce and an ounce of water for each pound you weigh every day. But you know what? Always talk to your healthcare provider, because your situation can be different. And like Dr. Shaniqua said, everybody may not be able to handle the same amount based on their health. So talk to your healthcare provider. And with all of the recommendations throughout this summit, make sure you are discussing this with your health team. You need a team in place to make sure you are your best self. Well, before we kick off this conference, this summit, which I'm so excited to do, Dr. Shaniqua, are there any parting words that you want to leave us with?
Yes, you can do it. You can do it, and I want you to do it in your own lane. I don't want you to do it the way Dr. Shaniqua does it. I don't want you to do it the way Charlene is doing. I want you to do it the way you can do it. And if it means you start out small, then so be it. So if you're only able to get in a 15-minute walk, so be it. Right? Don't beat yourself up. And one of the things that I've been saying lately is don't judge somebody's middle, right? Don't look at somebody's middle in their middle of their work and their success. And you're looking at their middle and you now start judging your beginning. We all have to start somewhere. So I want you to start where you are, and I want you to start implementing all of these strategies that you're getting, write them down. And I want you to start to build a plan to step by step, moment by moment, start to incorporate them in your life. And you will definitely become a better you.
Yes, I'm so excited already. Thank you, Dr. Shaniqua Johnson, CEO of A Better You, for helping us kick off the Wealth, Health, and Self-Care Summit.
Woo! I'm ready. Let's get it.
Yes. Isn't Dr. Shaniqua Johnson amazing? Seriously, she is the reason that I was able to start hosting these wealth, health, and self-care summits, because I had no idea how to do it. Like, I knew how to get speakers together and how to host, but I had no idea how to create a virtual event that people could participate in. And I met Dr. Shaniqua in July of 2023 at a White Dress Project conference, and she has been by my side ever since. She's attended every Wealth, Health, and Self-Care Summit. She has been there as a consultant to make sure that I am bringing a high quality summit to everybody, and she is stretching me, right? I only had in my mind to do one Wealth, Health, and Self-Care Summit. But on this journey, I ended up doing a summit every month. I did one in November, one in December, one in January, and now we're focusing on fulfilling our purpose, loving on ourselves this month in February. I want to thank you, Dr. Shaniqua Johnson. You have to give credit where credit is due. And we need those people in our lives who give us a bigger vision. than what we have for ourselves, who keep us accountable and tell us, hey, you got this. It may look hard, but you got everything you need to make this happen, to bring this vision to life. So thank you, thank you, thank you so much, Dr. Shaniqua. Make sure you follow Dr. Shaniqua Johnson on Instagram. Her Instagram channel is in the comments. She's at Shaniqua Inspires. She also has a YouTube channel. If you want to write a book, she's helped authors publish books, right? So that's what I mean when I say that the people that you might need on your journey, they are probably right here. And it doesn't matter if you are an introvert or extrovert. I call myself an introvert. I am an introvert because I like to reflect inwardly and think before I speak, right? But that doesn't matter when it comes to networking, when it comes to building relationships. Build them the best way that you know how. Maybe you don't want to do it in person, face to face all the time, so connect with somebody on social media, get in their inbox, set up a one-on-one appointment, or find ways in which you can add value to that person, because that person is probably busy. So you want to make sure that you are adding value when you reach out to people. But these are the type of people I am bringing you. Shaniqua Johnson is an inspiration. She's wrote plenty of books, helped other authors do the same. She has a media company and helps people put together their media events. So thank you. I can't say thank you enough. Did you like what Shaniqua Johnson offered? Did you like what Dr. Shaniqua Johnson offered? Have you connected with Dr. Shaniqua Johnson? Have you attended our previous summits? Go back and attend our previous summits if you want some gems. Last month, oh, Dr. Shaniqua was rolling with the gems. Punch, punch, punch all the way. If you want to get yourself together in 2024, you better go back and listen to January's Wealth, Health, and Self-Care Summit, because Dr. Shaniqua Johnson, she kicked it off and she did not play around. If you need motivation, go and listen. All right. But I'm so excited to continue on our summit because this is only the beginning. Shaniqua Johnson always raises the bar, and we always like to provide you with speakers who have something of value to give you and who have experiences that you can relate to. So I am ready to share another speaker. We are going to talk about something that's very important for you as you progress through the year. When it comes to your wealth or your health or your self-care goals, you want to set goals in different areas of your life so you can achieve them. And if you've never set a goal before, if you've never achieved that thing that you want to achieve, you need to listen to our next speaker. We are going to conquer goals. We're going to crush goals. We are going to make 2024 our best year yet. All right, get ready. How are you feeling right now? Type in the comments, let us know. We have another big surprise for you. Right now, I'm going to bring up life coach, motivational speaker, holistic life coach. Let me repeat that: motivational speaker and holistic life coach, Bossy, who's going to talk about goal setting. What a better time to talk about goal setting than right now. Hi, Bossy. How are you?
Hi, Carlene. How are you? It is so good to see you today. I appreciate you inviting me to be on today, the Wealth, Health, and Self-Care Summit. This is what every woman needs and every woman deserves, right?
Yes. And right now, it's time to prepare for the best year we've ever had, right? 2024 will be the best year you've ever lived. So how do you make that happen, right? Well, by setting goals. And Bossy is the goal setting expert. So Bossy, let's talk about 2024 and how we should start our goal setting for this year.
Listen, I am such a big fan of goals. That's why I started my company, Goal and Grind, because I believe that you can do more than a vision board, right? We've all had those years where we're like, okay, let me do this vision board. And now we've got this thing in our house with a bunch of magazine clippings. And at the end of the year, you're like, what happened? What I like to do is take it a next step further, go a little bit deeper, and focus not only on our own joy factors and what really makes us happy, but dreaming big and breaking those down into smaller, attainable goals that we can do one step at a time. So what I like to do is focus on the whole woman, right? You are not just a mom. You are not just an employee. You are not just a daughter, a wife, a girlfriend, an employee. You are a whole person who deserves joy in the 4 key areas of life. So I break down goals into these 4 key areas: personal, professional, health, and financial. And it's such an empowering and exciting thing to do because you start realizing, like, yeah, I have all these career goals, but I also have personal goals. Maybe I'm trying to go on a vacation this year. Maybe I'm trying to, to do something really big in my life, a dream-sized goal. The way to get there is really thinking about your life holistically and how all the pieces are put together. If you think about it, you bring your whole self together.
Yes, I like that. So we'll have to go through those 4 types of goals that we can set and actually set them so that we can be accountable to achieving those goals. Jim Rohn, I loved listening to him, but he once said, you have to set a goal that's big enough that in the process of achieving that goal, you become someone worth becoming. So one year I set a goal to do a pageant because I knew that would push me outside of my comfort zone. So like Bossy said, you want to think about what are those personal goals that are going to get you where you want to go? So, Bossy, can we break down those 4 levels? Let's start with personal. What does that look like?
Okay, so I'm so glad you asked. And I also want to say, I intentionally put personal first, right? Because so many of us put our career or money first. No, you've got to put you first and at the center of things. Personal goals revolve around your personal joy. They're going to look different for each person. For me, that looks like having time to have spa days. That looks like having time to travel, having time to read. As you can see, I have a very robust book collection. So those personal goals are the things that you really do to replenish your own soul.
Personal goals. I like that. I've been thinking about that lately. I'm trying to maybe read a book every month. I'm trying to think about the best way to approach my reading goals because I know everybody has tried some personal goal for years, but guess what? That career goal or some other goal gets in the way. So how do we really prioritize our personal goals when there's so much going on? Like, how do I make sure I read one book every month in 2024, Bossy?
Right. So I think the big thing is to first realize that you deserve to have those personal goals, right? Like you deserve to have that time for yourself, to care for yourself and to nurture your personal side. So I'll give you an example. 10 years ago when I moved to Chicago, I came here, I had no job, I had no friends, but I had a goal in each area. And my personal goal was really to be somewhere that I could grow and flourish and where I just really felt like God had a plan for me. So being able to accomplish my personal goal meant that I was also able to accomplish some professional goals, which included changing industries. Right. And so when you start to look at your personal goals as being integral and also necessary to being able to accomplish your professional goals, your financial goals, and your health goals, they're going to start coming up in the list, right? And so I think the big thing is, first off, to accomplish these personal goals, you have to make sure that you have the understanding that they're just as important as the others because they support the other key areas. The second thing is making sure that you carve out time, right? And to carve out time, you need a support system. So when I have these personal goals, Everybody in my circle knows about them, right? It's not just, oh, I'm keeping it to myself. I'm trying to read these books. It's that I'm telling my friends. So a great example is last year, I also wanted to do some more reading. I missed it, but I also felt like I really needed to get closer and in touch with what was going on with older Black women and how they were moving through the world. So I decided to read books and autobiographies written by Black women. And I started by reading Cicely Tyson's memoir. Oh my gosh, that kicked off the year with such joy for me personally that I was able to do a lot more in my financial side, a lot more in my career side, and a lot more in my health side of my life because I took that time for myself first.
I love it. So we really want to think about what time are we going to give ourselves? We allocate so much of our time to other things, but how much time? Is it going to be 1 hour, 2 hours a week, 10 minutes a day? Give yourself something or you'll end this year with nothing. Be intentional about the time you give yourself. I love that, Bossy. And you also mentioned accountability. So during this Wealth, Health, and Self-Care Summit, there are also people commenting in the chat. They're sharing their goals. There are people speaking. Bossy is up here speaking. You want to connect with her on Instagram at Goal and Grind, right? You want to follow like-minded people. Who is in your accountability circle? Who's going to help you get from where you are to where you want to be? Connect with somebody right now in the chat. Maybe it's on Instagram. Make sure you are connecting. This is your networking group to help you achieve your 2024 goals. Okay, Bossy, let's move on to number 2. What should we think about?
What should we think about? Okay, so I have a few different things because when you started saying connect, I'm like, yes, definitely follow me on Instagram. And spoiler alert, I haven't even shared it on my own page yet, but February 1st, I'm kicking off a self-love challenge because for Q1, I'm focusing on personal goals, as are all of my clients, and that's what we're doing as a community. So feel free to jump in on that self-care challenge. I have little bingo cards so that you can mark off and get your self-care in a fun way. But yes, what I think you should do is connect with community, right? And be sure that you're not just focused on those personal goals. You've got your personal, professional, health, and financial. And being able to say, what is the one thing I want to do this year related to each of those is going to help you exponentially. Also, thinking about what is that big picture goal, right? What does your dream life look like? All of your goals should go towards that. If you have something that doesn't go towards that, why is it there? Why is it there? If it's not getting you closer to your dream life, why are you working on it? Why are you focusing on it? We have a finite amount of time here that God has given us on earth, and we have to focus on what brings us joy. We have to focus on what aligns with our purpose. We have to be intentional about our time. So I challenge every single person out there that in 2024, you're going to be more purposeful with your time.
Yes. So let's talk about professional. How do we set professional goals? Is it just our performance review that we're submitting at work to let our boss know what we want to or what we expect to achieve this year? Or should we go bigger? Should we be thinking about our holistic selves in the professional process?
Got to think. I mean, I think you already know what I'm going to say, but let me just say it. We have got to think about our holistic selves, because how are you going to even perform your job if you are not happy at home? If you are not happy in your heart, you're going to be doing a disservice to yourself and others at work. So when you start to set those professional goals, you really got to think about, what's my dream life looking like? And I also want to say today, you don't have to be moving up. Right? Everybody's always like, okay, I want to move up to the next level. I want to move up to the next level. Well, guess what? It's perfectly fine to say, I want to be a subject matter expert. Maybe you want to manage people. Maybe you don't want to manage people. But I really think the most important thing is that you're setting your professional goals also from a place of joy, because you spend more time at work than almost anywhere else. You spend more time with your colleagues than anywhere else. Your professional goals should not only be about your growth as a professional, but how you can really attribute to the company. If you're not seeing ways that you can attribute to the company where you're working, newsflash, it might be time for you to start looking for jobs outside of that company. That's a really hard thing to hear sometimes. So I know you might be mad with me right now, but saying it from a place of joy and love and purpose, because just like your personal goals, your professional goals need to align with that vision you have for your dream life. I will use myself as an example. 10 years ago, when I moved here from Oklahoma City, I had a really great job in Oklahoma City. I had a job that a lot of people wanted to have. I had a really robust network. Everything was great. I just didn't really like it. I wanted to move, right? I felt this longing in my heart to change careers and to live in a different city, right? And so I made the decision to do a very, very, calculated change. And not just on the whim. It might have seemed like it to the outside world, but I was really planning. And so that professional goal went hand in hand with my personal goal. And when I got to Chicago, I was very intentional about networking with people that were in the role that I wanted to be in. And that's how I was able to climb the corporate ladder at 3 different Fortune 500 companies. So when you're setting those professional goals, I really challenge you to focus on the joy in your heart and what you enjoy in your job, right? Ladies, it is no longer the day where we're like, what is it that I should be doing? We don't need to should on our lives anymore. Your professional goals need to be in alignment with who you are. And if that means you love numbers, I don't. I'm not good with numbers. I'm not great with them. I'm just going to say. So I could never do an accounting job. That's not in alignment. I'd be pulling my hair out. So I had to understand not only what are the skills that I possess that, are income and revenue generating skills, but I also had to understand the things that I enjoy doing. And there's overlap there. So your professional goals really need to be in alignment with your purpose. And so that's your big dream size life. And that overlap, that purpose between income generating skills and your joy factors.
Yes,
I hope that helps.
It helps because it sounds like you really need to know who you want to become and where you want to be in order to figure out what you need to do now, right? And so thinking about what skills do you need to gain? Do you need certifications in order to be in a position that you aspire to be in? That's one thing that I had to think about when I was starting my career. When I was 23 years old, I was like, okay, if I'm going to study or work in accounting, I need to become a CPA because that's going to maximize my opportunities. But then at 24, I was like, okay, well, I want to go into more fraud. So let me become a CFE, certified fraud examiner, so that I can network with people in that space and go to conferences. You may also want to have conference goals, right, Bossy?
Amen to that. You said the number one thing, your network, because your network is your net worth. And you cannot even start to have professional goals without thinking about your network. You need to be talking to people who are where you're at so that you can understand. You might not take their exact path, and that's fine. But knowing the milestones along the way are going to help you exponentially with getting there.
Exactly. And use your job as an opportunity to network. My first week starting my first full-time job in corporate America, my boss told me to network with everybody in the offices. I was intimidated because they were all CFOs of their line of business. And I was like, well, what am I going to say to them? But you know what? That stretched me. And it allowed me to gain opportunities I would have never gained just because those people knew my name. They knew my skills, they knew my value, they knew my goals, and they could think of me when certain opportunities come up. So be intentional about who you are going to network with. Maybe also, how many people do you want to network with? Do you want to network with one person every month or every week? What can you do to build those relationships? I love it. And so number 3, health. Let's talk about health, Bossy. What should we be thinking about when it comes to our health?
Health is so important. God gave us one body and we've got to honor it, right? And so health goals can be so varied. This year my health goal is really to be in the gym twice a week, okay? Twice a week. I feel like as I've gotten older, things have fallen off. Your health goals, you want to make them something that are enjoyable to you, right? Because sometimes things like working out, you just don't like it. And that's why you've got to choose what brings you joy, right? Don't choose a workout that you're going to like wake up in the morning and like you would rather poke your eye out than do. It's not going to happen. You're not going to do it. You've got to choose goals that stretch you, but in a way that brings you joy, not stretches you in a way that makes you feel punished. So we're talking about health goals. Maybe you are trying to get over a hurdle. Maybe it's time to find a therapist. I remember there was a point in time where I said, I need a little bit of help, right? I need some extra support. I have beautiful, my mom's my best friend. My friends are incredible and they're very supportive, but I needed this third party objective support. So I made it a goal to go out and find myself a therapist. I wrote down what I was going to be looking for in a therapist. I wrote down why I wanted this therapist, and I went out and got one. Love my therapist. Oh my goodness. She has helped me through so many different things, right? When I think about times whenever I've made changes with my company Goal and Grind, or times when I've made changes in my corporate career, my therapist is actually one of the first people that I talk to. And I know that as a Black woman, sometimes, we can have all these different things coming at us, but to have someone who's objective and a third party to just reassure you and help you understand what you're going through, the mental health and the physical health, it is all connected. And ladies, if we are not taking care of both our physical and mental health, we're going to have struggles at work. We're going to be using more sick days. We are not going to be able to be going on those vacations we want to go on. We're not going to be able to read the books we want to read. Don't get me started on the health goals there. I'm getting at the age where I need readers. And I had to be really intentional about how I was talking to my ophthalmologist about what are the next steps? What are we doing here? Like, I can't see when I go to a restaurant at night. Anyone in here who's like right at 40, I think you know what I'm talking about. But I say that to say, at the end of the day, your health goals really stem from a place of joy, making sure we have the right team around us. I know this year for me, it's not just the workouts, but I really like to go and get some things done. So part of my health goals is always also taking naps. I like naps. They bring me joy personally, and they nourish my soul so that I can be out here doing things like this.
How many people love naps? When Bossy said naps, I was like, yes, that's me. I have to get my naps in. I wasn't like that in my 20s, but in my 30s, I need my naps. I'm not the same person without it. So you really want to think about your health goals because, like Bossy said, it's the foundation for everything else. And if you don't do it, you might have to learn the hard way, which I had to do. I put everything before my health, and then I had no choice but to sit down on bed rest after a surgery and recover because I didn't take my health seriously. And so think about what you are willing to do. Make small steps, right? If it's changes in your food was a hard one for me, Bossy. I used to love my sweets and snacks. If somebody tells me I can't have my potato chips, I have a temper tantrum. So I had to learn how to not have as many, like only have one bag of chips in the house. I used to think, okay, I need to have 5 bags of chips so that I can have it for the entire month and not have to buy it every week. That didn't work because those 5 bags of chips will be gone in that 1 week, right? And so if you know yourself, then think about, well, what can I put in place? What things can I do to make it easier for me to achieve my goals? Make it so easy. So don't have junk food laying around in your house. Have substitutes, maybe some apples, pears, anything else like fruits have natural sugar, right? Think about what else you can do to replace that bad habit that can keep you down. Oh, I love health, Bossy. It's everything. Yes. So we have personal, professional, health, and I think number 4 is also one of my favorites, financial. Bossy, what should we be thinking about when it comes to our finances in 2024?
So here's the thing. Finances can be a touchy topic. I'll just tell you, I remember a time where I had so much debt, I didn't want to open the mail. Okay. I didn't want to open the mail. I didn't want to see that credit card bill. I didn't want to talk about it. Here's the thing. Now I know the key to having joy in your finances is talking about it. It is literally so empowering. So when you're talking about your financial goals, this more than anything, I say all goals are a team sport, right? Crushing goals is a team sport, but especially financial, because it can be so hard to talk about. That's where something like therapy comes in, because you've got to understand why, it's why money is a scary topic. Now that I'm past that hurdle, I'm not afraid of opening the bills anymore. I can put stuff on auto pay, which shout out to anyone who's afraid to put things on auto pay because you're about to overdraft. I was there. So the biggest thing I say about your financial goals is really being able to have an honest conversation, not only with yourself, but with at least one other person. I'm not even saying you have to run out and get a financial advisor, but at least have one person in your life that understands money, right? Who not only understands it, but is willing to share with you their journey. So the way that I went from having a bunch of debt to now not having a bunch of debt and being set up for actual retirement is that I got real honest about where I was. So when I set financial goals, and I suggest you do this too, look at your spending, okay? Don't set a goal. Again, just like she was saying with the health goals, don't set something and set yourself up for failure. The way you do that with financial goals is to look at your spending habits. First, you need to understand where you are so that you can make a plan for where you're going. So once you understand what your spending habits are, you can say, I'm just throwing numbers out there. This is not like my numbers, anybody's numbers. But say you look and you're like, oh my goodness, I'm spending $1,000 a month on food because I'm eating out all the time. Either eating out, groceries, but combined it's $1,000. Maybe you want to save a little. You can say to yourself, I'm going to commit to spending $800 a month on food. Right? So you have all your budget categories, but when you look at them all together, you can see where you can start to save. So if you're going from $1,000 a month to $800 a month on food, that's $200 a month in savings right there. That can go towards paying down credit card debt. That can go towards, if you're already out of credit card debt, that can go towards putting money in your IRA, which if you are done paying off credit card debt, I highly suggest that you have, this is not like, I'm not a financial advisor, so don't take it for that. But I suggest that in addition to your work retirement account, you think about working with a financial advisor to have one that's external to work as well, external to your employer as well. So the thing about your finances is set yourself up for success. Find someone that you trust and that you can talk to about your money, that you can lay out the plan and say, this is what's coming in every month. This is what I'm spending. If you're spending more than what's coming in, we've got to start by looking at where you can reduce. If you're not, we've got to start looking at where are we saving? Where are we saving? And then we've got to start looking at where are we investing, right? Again, I'm not a financial advisor, so don't take this as that. What I am saying, though, is that your goals related to your finances, they can bring you joy. I promise they can, because I remember when I thought, no way, that is never going to happen. I hate money. I hate talking about it. I'm embarrassed. I'm ashamed. I don't know how I got to this situation. It's because it's not taught in school, and because I was set up for failure, and because the goals that I had around money were too big. You can't start investing when you've got so much debt. So let's start small, get an accountability partner, and have joy in it. Don't punish yourself about money. It's not your fault.
Yes, finances can lead to so much freedom. It's one of my favorite topics. And make sure you subscribe to the Wealthy Women Daily channel if you want to make 2024 your best financial year yet. Like Bossy said, it's all about starting where you are, but not being afraid to grow as you go along on this journey. There is so much more waiting for you, right? You can get to the point where you are getting an extra stream of income from the companies you love in the form of dividends, but you have to make those initial steps to get your finances in order, and then your finances can start working for you. Talk about wealth, health, and self-care when your finances are working for you. So make sure you subscribe to Wealthy Women Daily. Every week we will be talking about finances. Now, as we wrap it up, we can't forget about joy, because you are the expert when it comes to joy. So, Bossy, how do we make this a joyous year as well?
The biggest thing is to honor yourself, honor your whole self this year. Think about what your dream size goals are and start cutting things out that don't relate to that. There is absolutely no reason that we should be spending time on things that don't get us towards our dream life. Now, I'm not saying go out there, quit your job if you hate it today. What I'm saying is think about making strategic moves towards having more joy. Also, think about what it is that brings you joy. I remember the first time I did this exercise, I sat down, I made what's called a joy bubble. Everybody, I challenge you today, take out a piece of paper, draw a circle on it, and just write down what brings you joy. Write it down. There's so much power in that. Every time you need to recognize what brings you joy, you need to also recognize yourself, right? So every time you have an accomplishment, cheer. And you better cheer loudly. Tell the world. I don't care if it's that you finally incorporated your first nap in a year, or that you got a huge promotion, or that you paid off $20,000 in student loan debt. I don't care how big or small it is. You've got to celebrate yourself, and you have got to celebrate others. Joy is about that community. Joy is about you and your uniqueness, and understanding what brings you joy empowers you to have more of it. I'm so excited. I know she's already said it, but come on over. I would love to chat more. My Instagram is at Goal and Grind. We're going to set big goals. We're going to grind them out one little step at a time. But I would love to stay in touch. Carlina, I thank you for having me. This has been so much fun. It's an honor and a blessing. And 2024, going to be everyone's best year yet.
Yes, it will. Thank you so much, Bossy, for joining us. And you forgot to mention that you also have a YouTube channel. So go on over to Goal and Grind YouTube channel. Yes. And that's why we're doing the summit. We're doing the Wealth, Health, and Self-Care Summit so that we can share our gifts with the world and network. Make sure you network. I can't say that enough. There are people in the chat who want to network with you. There is somebody who needs exactly what you have. Guess what? They don't know you exist yet. There's somebody who has exactly what you need. Guess what? You haven't reached out to them yet. So this is your space to reach out and get all that has your name on it in 2024, Bossy. Yes, I wish you nothing but success. I know this is going to be the year in which you are able to touch so many people through your calling. Thank you so much, Bossy. Don't forget to follow her on Instagram at Goal and Grind. Go on over to YouTube and follow her there. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Carlene. This was the best. You just made my whole day. Thank you to you. Thank you to everybody in the audience. We love you so much and appreciate your time. Time's your most valuable asset. So thank you for having the time to bring me on. And thank you, everybody in the audience, for being here.
Oh, that was good. That was so good. Type in the chat and let me know what you took away. Remember, we said we are not just sitting back listening, we are learning and taking action. So, what are you taking away from Bossy's session about goal setting? And what goals are you going to set to get you from where you are to where you want to be? I forgot to tell you earlier that I am doing a giveaway. I am giving away a copy of my book, How to Find happiness again. It's going to one person for active participation, for showing up, for taking care of you so that you can fill your cup and really make a difference in this world. I'm giving away this book, How to Find Happiness Again, Holistic Habits That Will Transform Your Life in 30 Days. Bossy mentioned writing down what makes you happy. But right here, you're going to create your happy list. What makes you happy? These daily activities will help you dig deep and discover beautiful things about yourself that you may have never paid attention to before. And that may be key to unlocking your next level. So I'm so excited to help you invest in your dream life in 2024 and actually take notes. Write down what you want to accomplish. I will be announcing the winner in the chat at the end of the summit. So get ready, because I will need the winner's email address so that I can send you all the details so that you can claim your copy of How to Find Happiness Again. And even if you don't receive a copy from this session, go on Amazon, grab your copy of How to Find Happiness Again. Do the work. If you do the work for 30 days, you will not be the same. You will not be the same. So allow yourself to be transformed. Allow yourself to get the happiness you seek. That is self-care. The more you can fill yourself up with those things that support your growth and your development, the more you can give back to the world in a meaningful way. And I'm here to support that. We are all here to support that during the Wealth, Health, and Self-Care Summit. So make sure you're participating, because we are looking for that winner who will get a copy of How to Find Happiness Again. Really a transformative book. So are you ready for the next speaker? Bossy talked about finances. So we have to talk about finances if we are on this self-care journey, because finances are one of those stressors that prevent you from living fully, from going all out on your goals. So we have some financial speakers who are here to provide some insights and encouragement. So get ready, get the paper, get the pen, let's go. It is time to talk about your money DNA. We have a financial coach and speaker with us today, and she also has experience as a middle school teacher. So I know she knows how to break down financial concepts in ways that we can digest it and feel good about it. So I want to bring up Shena Johnson, the Banking Bae. Hi, Shena.
Hi, Charlene. Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here with you today.
I'm so excited to have you, because I need to know what money DNA is. But first, can you tell us more about your background and how you got started on your money journey?
Of course. So first of all, I'm extremely excited to be here. And I do want to extend a special thank you to you, Charlene, for being so fabulous and having me. And my name is Shena Johnson. I am a financial literacy coach. People call me the Banking Bae. BAE stands for Budgets, Assets, and Equity. And like Charlene mentioned, I was a teacher. I was a teacher for 10 years in the city of Philadelphia. And unfortunately, at that time, I was drowning in debt. Okay, I was drowning in debt. I was so deep in debt that, it was just like a cloud over my head. And I decided that I needed to make a change. And that is when I changed my mindset. My mindset then changed my money, and my money changed my life. So this was back in 2020.
Wow. So you made that transformation when you realized this is not working for me. I don't want to be deep in debt. I want to attract wealth and abundance. So how did your money DNA come about? What is your money DNA, and how do we find that for ourselves?
Well, my money DNA started off a little raggedy, okay, because I was so deep in debt. I was over 48K in debt. And I had to decide, like sometimes we really do have to make up in our minds that we want a change. So I had to decide, either this debt is going to overcome me or I'm going to overcome this debt. So since then, and because of the change that I did make in my mind, I have paid off over 45K in debt. I have now more than tripled my income, my monthly income, by generating 7 streams of income. And I no longer live paycheck to paycheck. So my money DNA is freedom. It's financial freedom for sure.
Let's rewind. You said you had 48K in debts. Now, was that in 2020?
That was in 2019 and 2020, yes.
2019 and 2020. So in less than 4 years,
yes,
you
ma'am.
paid off $45,000 in debt.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there are some people on this line, they have $10,000 or $20,000 in debt, and they're thinking it's going to take 10 or 20 years to pay that off. But you're saying,
so too. I thought
right. Right. You're saying there's a way to pay that off in less than 4 years.
Of course, it requires a lot of sacrifice. Like, I don't even want to tell you guys how much sacrifice I had to make. I mean, like, you sleeping on your sister's couch. I mean, not getting your nails done. I mean, not getting your hair done. Maybe working 2 to 3 jobs, right? Lacking a little bit of sleep here and there, right? But it's definitely possible. It just depends on your level of consistency and how bad you want it. How bad do you want to get out of debt?
Ooh, and you have to give up your hair appointments in order to do that. Ooh, Shena. I know some people are here saying, no, I don't think I can do that.
I had to give it up, y'all. But look where it got me. I'm back.
There you go. Back and better than ever. So let's talk about that mindset shift, because there's some type of shift that has to take place mentally for you to even think that you can do that. Did you think that you could pay off debt within 4 years? Where did you start this journey?
I didn't think I could until I started to surround myself with people who were, one, trying to get to where I'm, trying to go. And 2, I had to literally dive deep into who I am as a person. What is my actual DNA? What is my biology when it comes to money, right? A lot of us, we think that it's just on the surface, but it's not. It's really deeper than that. Money is such a deep thing that it can go all the way back into your childhood, right? One of the things that I struggled with initially was a scarcity mindset, right? And it's because when I was younger, I may not have had all of my needs met, right? And I had to identify that and learn that. And from there, I had to make certain decisions that would allow me to get out of debt. And so it starts within your mindset, and it also starts in encouraging your mind to be around certain environments and certain people who are going in the same way and direction that you're going.
I like that. There's this saying that you have to be around the people who you want to be like. Like, if you are around 5 millionaires, you're most likely going to be the 6th millionaire. If you're around 5 broke people, you might be the next one in line to lose all of what you have. Right?
Absolutely, so because those people can allow you to get opportunities. I got a lot of opportunities to make more money than I was ever making before. And so, like, a lot of people may think that your regular 9-to-5 job can pay off your debt, but no, like, you're going to need to earn more money. You're going to need to be in rooms with people who are making more money accessible to you. And so it's about getting into those spaces where people have bigger dreams, bigger ideas, and really you're not the smartest one in the room.
So your network is really your net worth.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So what spaces did you have to put yourself in?
Well, first, one of the hardest lessons that I've had to learn, and I don't just say this, I literally mean it, right? Money has a DNA. And I've always thought that money was like this big mystique thing surrounded by like clouds of mystery and a host of, I don't know, like dark secrets somewhere. But it took me a very long time to learn that money has a DNA. And what does that actually mean, right? Because people say it sounds good, but what does that mean? It means that money, like the intricate strands of our DNA, possess a unique code that governs its existence, right? For growth, for influence, for individuals to grow and societies to grow. So understanding that money has a DNA goes beyond, the mere pursuit of wealth, right? It delves into the fundamentals, the fundamental principles, the inherent nature of what guides its circulation and its impact. So being in rooms with people who understand that and who actually have impact, those are the types of rooms that I had to be a part of.
So are there certain steps that we need to take in order to unravel our money DNA? Yours is freedom, financial freedom. How do we find out what ours is?
Well, I think the first thing that we have to learn when it comes to money and when it comes to acquiring wealth is to understand that money is value, right? Money is value. So what level of value do you bring, right? How can you impact a person to invest in the value that you bring? That is how you attain financial freedom. For example, right now, Charlene, you're doing this amazing interview with me, right? And you have this amazing business, wealthy women, right? This is valuable. Anyone would want to invest in this because you're bringing a level of value and you're creating a level of impact on the world, on society. So when we understand that wealth and money means value, that is when we'll have a certain level of access to freedom, financial freedom.
Another mindset shift. How do you articulate the value that you are delivering to the world? Right.
And that's it's really simple. It's really simple. I had to ask myself 2 questions because that's one of the questions that I had too. How do you know when you're adding value? And my 2 questions are, what do you know more than anybody else that other people need to learn more about, right? What do you know more than anybody else that other people need to learn? And then another question that I had to ask myself was, would someone invest in this level of value? And if my answers to those questions were yes, it means that I was on the right track.
Let's move into some strategies for walking into your money purpose. So we have our money DNA. We did the hard work to figure that out. Now we need to walk into our money purpose. What does that look like?
It's a transformation, really. It's a transformation. It means that you are diving deeper. Because we think we got deep, but really, if we're trying to get to this level of abundance, it means we're diving deeper each and every day. So, one, we have to increase our level of value. We have to transform our minds into thinking about wealth in affluent way, right? I think a lot of times when we possess money, our natural inclination is to have more money, right? And that's the same concept when it comes to your money DNA. Money, right, in its nature, it's accumulative. So it means that money wants to possess more money. So we have to get into a space where we are attracting those things, and it's attracting it's becoming attracting to us because our skills are expanding, our knowledge is expanding, and we're developing ourselves because we are the value, right? We are the secret sauce. So that is how we can, accumulate a certain level of wealth, for sure.
I like that. What shifts are you going to make in your mindset to align better with the things you want in the future? Yeah, so now let's start talking about attracting wealth and abundance, right? Because you have to shift your mindset. We are going to keep saying that. Get around the right people so that you can shift your mindset and do the work. But what are some tips that you have for attracting wealth and abundance?
Well, one of the tips that I have in particular, and I think it's no secret, right, that you kind of have to package yourself like what you want to be, right? If you want to be wealthy, you have to package yourself in that way. Like consider like money, for example, like we're talking about money. It kind of has its own distinct essence about it. So if you're trying to attract that, you have to package yourself in that way. Like when we think about certain brands like Louis Vuitton and Gucci and Chanel and Hermes, the big brands. They have a certain appearance to it, right? They're packaged a certain way. And so it's the same way. We kind of have to create a life that we desire to live, even if we don't have it yet, right? We have to create those spaces and package ourselves as the things that we want to possess. So once you understand that and the DNA of money and the nature of money, it's going to be drawn to individuals who present themselves in that way. So that's definitely one aspect of attracting wealth.
So let's break that down. Package yourself in a way that attracts wealth. So does what you wear and how you show up matter?
Absolutely. Money is a language, right? Money is a language. You actually speak when you walk into a room without saying anything. The way you package yourself, not, you don't have to wear, the long weaves, the long lashes. Nobody is encouraging any of those things. You can totally be yourself, but how are you showing up into spaces? Are you confident, right? Do you feel like you belong? Do you feel like you're deserving to be, where you are when you walk into a room? How are you packaging yourself? Those are the types of things that attract wealth and abundance.
Confident people make more money because they are willing to negotiate. They are not afraid to tell somebody their value and to leave if they are not getting the value they think they deserve, right?
Because you know that they are also valuable.
Yes. So that is a part of your money DNA. Understanding money, you have to understand yourself and be confident in the value you bring to the world. Are there any other tips that we need to be thinking about on our journey? Because Shania, you said going from 48K in debt to 45K to paying off 45K. And it sounds so easy, but we all know that it is not easy to pay off $45,000 in 4 years. So what tips do you have overall to get us ready for that next level that we want to achieve this year, 5 years from now, or 10 years from now?
Well, I would not be the banking bae if I didn't talk about budgeting. I think it's a fundamental part of what allows you to manage your money, to grow your money, and for your finances to be in a place where you feel safe and secure and you are not lacking. You have to create a budget. You need to know how much of your money is coming in, how much of your money is going out. And with that, you're going to be able to save. Okay, with saving, you can invest. With investing, this is where all the dividends come in, right? So definitely, I would say a budget. Create a budget, create a plan for your money so that you can manage it and so that you can watch it grow and so that you can invest, because that is the blueprint, right? That is the blueprint. That is how you're able to move from one step to the next step to another step in your finances. You have to know where your money is going. If you don't know where your money is going, then that's a problem. That's a big problem.
I've talked to many people and they told me they avoided bills. They did not want to know where their money was going because reality hurts.
Yeah, I mean, get some tissues, but you got to know where your money is going. You got to, go on your mobile app. Print out that monthly statement. Take a look at what you're spending. Are you making too many trips to Target? I'm guilty. Are you, spending too much at Starbucks? I'm also guilty, right? But hey, we have to face the reality of what we are doing with our money. Are we investing? Do we have a retirement plan? Do we have a savings account? God forbid if you get a flat tire, what are you going to do, right? A budget allows you to see those things. And there's also a great side to budgeting, right? You may get a raise at work, you may get a promotion, you may inherit some money from a family member. Because you already have a budget in place, you'll be able to allocate those funds in a meaningful way that will allow you to build wealth and invest, right? So definitely, I would absolutely say a budget is a great tool if you are looking to build wealth.
If you don't take control of your money will control you and tell you where it's going every month, right? That's why a lot of people may live paycheck to paycheck because they don't have control over the money. You need to know what's coming in and what's going out, but you need to know how to analyze and make decisions based off the numbers you see. Just because you see so much money going out and not enough coming in, you don't stop there. There's another level to this. I see these numbers. Now, what does that mean? It means you need to take certain actions in order to put yourself in a better position.
Yeah, it's great. I think it's great because it also teaches you the type of spender that you are, right? Having a budget will let you know if you are an impulsive spender, right? Having a budget will let you know if you are a experienced spender. Right, you're the person who likes to take the trips to Bali and post them on Instagram. Like having a budget really will allow you to learn a lot about yourself. And I like to think about my budget as like a mom or dad. Right, when I was younger and I wanted to go outside to get some ice cream, I would have to ask my mom, like, "Hey, mom, can I go outside? Can I get some ice cream?" My mom would say, in typical Jamaican mom fashion, "Did you clean your room? Did you do your chores? Have you done the dishes?" Right, and then depending on if I did those things or not, she would say, "Yes, you can go get some ice cream," right? A budget is the same thing. If you're trying to go on your girls trip, your budget will let you know whether or not you can go because one, maybe you've saved, maybe you've, put some money to the side or not. Your budget will tell you, you can't go because when you come back, your bills are going to be behind, right? Having a budget in place is crucial.
Yes. If you enjoy what you hear and plan to take action, make sure you comment in the chat and let somebody hold you accountable to that, right? That's the power of writing your goals down. So what is that one thing you are going to take away from this session? The next 30 days, if you look back in the comments, you should see that you are making progress towards your goals. Also, make sure you follow Shena on Instagram at The Banking Bay. Don't forget to follow her. Shena, is there anywhere else where people can follow you?
Well, definitely follow me on Instagram. If you would like to get some more information, you can email me at thebankingbay@gmail.com. I do offer group coaching sessions and one-on-one services, but definitely go ahead and follow me on Instagram.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Shena, for joining us here. We are so ready to tackle our money DNA and make improvements this year to make this year our best money year yet.
Thank you so much, Charlene, for having me. This was wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you again, Shena, for sharing your money DNA with us for the Wealth, Health, and Self-Care Summit. Type in the chat, let us know what you took away. I have a ton of notes right here. One, make sure you are tracking your finances, get your budget together so you can know what's going out and what's coming in. That will allow you to be in control of your finances. Another big one that came my way was understanding your value. You need to know your value and you need to walk confidently in it. You can't be timid out here when it comes to who you are, right? You have to master your craft and then be willing to showcase your craft, which is an excellent segue into our next speaker. If you haven't subscribed to the Wealthy Women Daily YouTube channel and you find this free information valuable, make sure you subscribe and also tell a friend to come on board. Invite a friend right now to join us for the Wealth, Health, and Self-Care Summits. We have a few more sessions coming up, so let your friends know. Send them the link. I'm putting the link in the chat. Send them the link. Tell them to hop on now if they are ready to make 2024 the best year yet. I am happy to bring up a Lily Mae because she is going to talk about some of the concepts that Shena talked about. Shena talked about packaging yourself so that you can articulate your value. Well, Lily Mae, she's an award-winning PR strategist, TV personality, and international speaker who will break down how to do that. So Lily Mae is the creator of the Glambitious brand, which helps entrepreneurs expand their visibility and influence. She has helped entrepreneurs around the world grow their businesses through books, coaching, and courses for over a decade. Lily Mae is a graduate of UNC Chapel Hill and has been seen on Netflix, TMZ, Black Enterprise, and Cosmopolitan, among numerous other media platforms. Last year, she released a new book, Entrepreneur's Guide to Get More Visibility, on Amazon.com, which is an extension of her passion to empower entrepreneurs. Wow, wow, wow. I hope you are excited. So let's bring up Lily Mae. Without further ado, let me bring to the stage Lily Mae.
Hello. Hey, everyone.
Yes, we are so excited to have you here because your brand, your visibility, the entire package is so important to shaping what happens in the next year, right?
Yes.
So, Lily Mae, can you tell us how you got started?
Sure. So after I graduated from Chapel Hill and moved into Atlanta, I started in marketing and publicity right away. And once I became an entrepreneur, then I started to help people with their visibility and help myself with my visibility. And so I learned how important it was to be visible so that you are always at the top of mind when people need your services, when people are looking for a speaker, or when they're looking for a resource that you have, you're at the top of mind. And so now, fast forward 15 years later, it's even more imperative to have visibility so that you can reach financial success, because that is the only way that you can attract the volume of customers and clients that you desire. It's through visibility. So I'm very, very passionate about sharing that with the audience today, and I'm so excited to be here.
Well, let's jump into that. What does visibility look like, and what do people need to start doing to raise their brand visibility?
Yes. So visibility is being seen and being heard. And people definitely need to see what you offer, and they need to hear about what you offer. There was an old marketing rule that people need to see you 7 times before they decide to do business with you. But that has since changed dramatically. And they now say that people need to see you 21 times before they decide to do business with you. So visibility is being seen on different platforms. It's being heard. It's, being a speaker at different events. Visibility includes getting interviews with podcasts and magazines. So anything that allows your target demographic to hear about your business and hear value from you, that is visibility.
So you said that people need to see you. Back in the day, people needed to see you at least 7 times before buying into your brand. And now it's 21 times. Yes. Well, we are still only one person. So how do we make this happen?
Yes. So I always encourage people to create an actual strategy so that you touch your target demographic 21 times. So that strategy could be going on Instagram Live regularly. That strategy could include pitching yourself for interviews with different platforms. That strategy should also include collaborations, because anytime that you collaborate with another platform, you gain visibility to their audience and their network. So I always encourage collaboration, as like a next step. If you're tuned in, write down 10 powerhouse women that you would love to collaborate with. That's great for brand alignment, and it's great for enhanced visibility. And so that's a few of the ways that you can really strategize and map out, okay, how can I make sure that people see me 21 times? I need to send out an email newsletter. I need to have a text marketing system. So there's so many different ways, Facebook ads, Instagram ads. There's so many different ways that you can leverage what's in your hand to make sure that people continuously hear you and see you.
Okay, so how do we be strategic about how we do it? Because there is a long list of to-dos, right? And you mentioned that women or find people that you want to collaborate with.
Mhm.
How can you be strategic about that?
Yeah, so when I am looking for women to collaborate with, I look and see if their audience is my target demographic. So you want to make sure that anyone that you collaborate with has a similar target demographic as you so that you can maximize that collaboration. So that would definitely be step number one. I also look at people who have typically a larger reach than me. And I always encourage clients when you're looking for collaborations, find women who have even a stronger platform or more visibility, because that's also going to help you to level up your visibility. With brand alignment, it's really aligning with people that your audience is excited to see you with, right? So, they're always the top girl bosses that we see on social media. They're doing it big. And so anyone in your industry that you're impressed by, find a way to align with them, to collaborate with them, even if it's just inviting them for an Instagram live interview. You could literally pitch them and say, hey, Lily Mae, I saw you during the summit. I would love to interview you on my Instagram platform just to learn more about your journey. So that's an easy way to collaborate, but you definitely want to be strategic and make sure that they have a similar target demographic, that there's definitely brand alignment, meaning that the way they present their business is similar to how you present your business. And you want to make sure that their platform has an expanded reach so that every collaboration is multifaceted.
Now, most business owners are tied up with all of their other responsibilities, right? They're busy doing what they were in business to do. So, who are those people that you need to have on your team to help you build your brand?
That is a great question. I always encourage entrepreneurs to at least consult with someone who is in public relations and marketing. So that could be a PR strategist, a marketing strategist, a branding expert. At least do a consultation with them. If you can't afford to have them full time on your team, at least schedule a monthly coaching or strategy call with them so that they can look at what you're working on and find ways to maximize it. Oftentimes, like you mentioned, entrepreneurs have so much going on. They're like, I can't afford to bring on a full-time PR agency, marketing agency, etc. So at least schedule a 1-hour strategy call with someone like myself so that we can look at what you have going on, what you have coming up, and how to maximize it, because it's impossible to be everything and everywhere at once in your business. So I always encourage people to at least consult with or book a strategy call with someone that is in public relations or marketing.
How should we think about our goals and how do we know if our goals are reasonable? There's this acronym called SMART. So it's S, specific, M, measurable, A, attainable, R, realistic or reasonable, and T, timely. So how do we do that in the visibility process? Where do I start? Because I'm like, I would like to have 5,000, 10,000 additional followers in the next 3 months, but is that realistic?
Right. And so I love that you asked about that, because you're right. A lot of times when I'm working with clients and getting them interviews, they want to immediately get Black Enterprise, People Magazine, USA Today. Which, it's ambitious, and I don't knock anyone for their ambitions, but you want to take baby steps. I always say a win is a win. So when I'm creating goals for myself, even if they are lofty goals, then I know that at least I'm going to land somewhere in the middle. So there's nothing wrong with setting a lofty goal, but just set your expectations that if you don't meet that lofty goal, you'll at least land somewhere in the middle. So I always say it's just about your capacity. Do you have the capacity to create a content calendar and consistent content to attract visibility? Do you have the capacity to consistently pitch yourself for interview opportunities and speaking opportunities? So when it comes to setting realistic goals, be realistic with your capacity. How much can you actually do for your visibility while running your business, and start where your capacity lies?
I love that. So, where do I start? I want to create a timeline, a master plan that will help me get closer to my goals by a certain date.
Yes, so you can start by getting my book. So I literally put, my 10 years of PR experience into a book that's very digestible, and it has pictures and things that you can write in and, really strategize your visibility. But I would really start there, getting the book. It's called, the Get More Visibility E-Guide for Entrepreneurs, and it really guides you through everything you need to do to start your visibility plan and your strategy. And it has homework pages and all of that. So once you get that, then you start to look at your social media channels and then map out a content calendar for that. That's something that's fully within your power. Then you start and create a media calendar. And that's when you decide, okay, October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So media, they're really going to be looking for stories about that. Do I have anything that ties into that awareness? And this is, again, why it's really good to consult with a strategist, because we have all of these things on our agenda. So we know what season that media are looking for what types of content, but it is tangible for you to also, create a media calendar and say, okay, I want to interview with this podcast or this magazine, and write those down, find the contact information, and start pitching yourself. So I feel like if you start with social media and a content calendar, and then you create a media content calendar, those are two very strong places to start with your visibility.
A question about the social media, because I hear this a lot. Which social media channel do I start with? Do I need to do all the things at once? What are your recommendations?
That's a great question. And I don't believe you need to be on every social media channel at once. I would say always check your analytics and see where you get the best response, because I may get a great response on Instagram Live, but you may get a great response on LinkedIn Live or Facebook Live, or you may have a Facebook group that really responds to your posts and your videos. So I would say figure out which channel gives you the best response and put more energy into that channel, because spreading yourself thin and being on all the channels and not having an impact, I don't think is worth it, versus really honing in on one channel. It might be YouTube, and saying, okay, I really get responses when I post a YouTube video. Let me put consistent energy into that channel. So I would just pick one or two channels to put the most energy into.
I'm always interested in systems and efficiency. So, what would you say are your must have branding tools when starting this journey? Hootsuite was a big one for me back in the day, but I know things have evolved since then.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so Hootsuite, I think is still a great, social media management tool for sure. And it's a great way to start your system so that you can make sure you're posting on all of the platforms at once. I would definitely say you want an email marketing system. You want a text marketing system, because a lot of people now, their emails are flooded. So now it's a little bit more into the text marketing, which you have to be, strategic with that, as to not overwhelm people on their cell phone. So those are definitely systems I think you should definitely have: an email marketing system, a text marketing system, and then some sort of system to schedule your content in advance. I always encourage clients to have a content day. Right? So maybe Sunday could be your content day, where you create all of your reels for that week, all of your content for that week, and you schedule it out on Sunday. That way, you know that you're going to have a consistent presence through, your social media channel. So I would start with those three systems.
Okay, so now we have our systems. We know which social media platforms we're going to play with. We have your book. Is there anything else that we should be doing on our journey to expand our visibility and influence?
Well, I would just say, be consistent with wherever you decide to put your energy for visibility. Because I know if you're a solopreneur, if you're new to entrepreneurship, that it can be overwhelming to say, wow, Lily, I have to pitch myself for interviews. I have to go on Instagram Live. I have to have an email newsletter. I have to do all these things. So it can get a little overwhelming, to do all of the things as well as run a business. So I would say consistency would be my final thought as far as your visibility. If you decide that, your capacity can only handle going live on Instagram daily, then let that be your channel and just make sure that you're consistent. So whatever visibility channel you decide to move forward with, I would say just make sure that you're consistent, because people definitely want to see you consistently in one platform and they want to expect you. So it's always good to be consistent, even if it's just in an email marketing. You want people to expect that on Mondays, I'm going to get an email from Lily Mae or etc. So that would be one of my closing thoughts. And again, you can definitely check out my book at visibilityforme.com. That's visibilityforme.com. And for the month of November, it's only $15. So I definitely encourage you to start there with your visibility journey.
Well, I did receive a question via email before we went live, so I want to address that question first. Someone asked, how important is this? How will this impact my financial success?
Great question. This is extremely important. You have to be seen to be paid. Okay. If no one knows that your business is there, how can they spend money with you? All right. If no one knows that you're valuable and an expert in the marketplace, then how can they make the investment into your services? So it's absolutely imperative to your financial success that you get serious about your visibility and that you figure out what really works for your business, because you have some people who are making six figures off of Facebook alone, some people who are making six figures because of their visibility on YouTube alone, right? And so once you figure out what's really working and you put energy into that visibility, it will definitely return a financial harvest for you. And so I always encourage people, remember that showing up is like sowing a seed, right? Because you never know who's going to see you when you post that content or when you speak at that event or when you send that email newsletter. You never know who's going to see you. And all it takes is one person to invest in your 4 or 5 figure offer for it to be worth it. So it's absolutely integral to your financial success that you get serious about your visibility. One last note, there was what people call the Great Resignation last year, where many people went into entrepreneurship, hundreds and thousands of people. So that now means that every industry has an extra couple of 100,000 people doing the exact same thing what you do, doing the exact same thing that I do. So what's going to separate Lily Mae from the other person that helps people with their public relations and their marketing? What's going to separate you from the other hundreds of thousands of people that do exactly what you do? It's visibility. It's who gets seen more. It's who gets heard more. That's how you build up a reputation. That's how you build up recognition, so that you're at the top of the mind when people are ready to spend money on the services you offer. So that is how you harness visibility for financial success. You find the platform and the channel of visibility that works well for you. You put consistent energy to it. And before all that, you want to make sure you have an irresistible offer. That's usually what I always lead with, because you can have all the visibility in the world, but if your offer isn't irresistible to your target demographic, then it's null and void. So before you get to this part of your journey, make sure that you have an irresistible offer, something that your target demographic has to have, that they are ready to purchase, and all they need is to see you with it to make that investment. And if you're uncertain about what to offer in this climate, because it does change from year to year, definitely book a coaching call with me. I would love to review your offers, your social media presence, your website, and really help you package something in a way that resonates with your audience, so that once you tap into this visibility platform that we talked about, or the visibility plan that we discussed, that it actually, returns a harvest to you.
I love it. I always say there is someone who needs exactly what you have, but they have no idea that you exist yet. So your job on this journey is to make yourself visible so that all the people that need you can find you. I want to thank Lily Mae for coming on the Wealthy Women Daily Show. You can follow her on I Am Lily Mae on Instagram at I Am Lily Mae, and make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel at Wealthy Women Daily. Thank you so much, Lily Mae.
You're welcome.
Are you still tuned in to the Wealth, Health, and Self-Care Summit? Make sure you comment in the chat. Let us know what you thought. Support our speakers. Share this with a friend so that they don't miss any of these gems. Lily Mae, wow. I took so many notes as always. This was so good and so necessary for right now. But with this long list of to-dos, we may need some help to get started on our journey, to get started on our visibility, our brand visibility journey. So our next speaker will make sure that you don't have to tackle this all alone, right? I don't want you to leave this session and 30 days from now you have to start from scratch. No, I want you to leave this session and be able to find those people you need on your team in order to achieve your goals, right? Bossy talked about the different goals that you can set in all aspects of your life. Dr. Shaniqua shared some health goals. We had some financial goals. We had somebody paying off over 40,000 in debt, right? Shania talked about the money DNA. So now it's time to put it all together. How do we get help on our journey? So get ready for our next session. Don't forget to comment, share, subscribe to Wealthy Women Daily if you haven't done so yet. And if you are ready to make 2024 your best year yet, make sure you grab a copy of Dividends Are a Queen's Best Friend, available on Amazon. It's a basic female-friendly guide to start your investing journey. So if you are scared, you don't know where to start, you need some motivation to get over your fears and get ready for the best years of your life, check out Dividends Are a Queen's Best Friend on Amazon. I talk about going the regular traditional route, right? Getting a job, checking the box on the grades and everything else. But then I got sick and realized, whoa, if I can't work, can I still make money? That's not self-care if every dollar that flows through my pocket requires me to put in physical labor, to be present, to be available. I need to find a way to obtain income when I'm not able to work. And that's why Dividends Are a Queen's Best Friend. That's the premise of the book. You need a plan, a financial plan that's holistic. Your job should not be your only financial plan. You need to be getting an extra income beyond your job because you never know what will happen with your job. So this Wealth, Health, and Self-Care Summit, I want you to think bigger. Think beyond today and go fast forward to next month or next year. Do you have income, any income coming in beyond your job? Would you be able to sustain yourself if something happened? If you don't have this book, get it ASAP. I want you to be prepared and protected for no matter what comes your way. You want to be able to create endless opportunities in your life. You have to be able to plan ahead and make sure that one thing, such as a losing a job or a health scare, doesn't get you off track and destroy your financial life. So Dividends Are a Queen's Best Friend is available on Amazon. Let's bring up our next speaker so that you can get the help that you need to make 2024 your best year yet. There's somebody who needs exactly what you have, but guess what? You may not have the time to give them all that you can because you are overwhelmed. That means you may need somebody else on your team to support you with the vision. Today we have Crystal Salisbury here, who's going to talk about the power of having a virtual assistant on your team. Hi, Crystal. How are you?
Hi, Charlene. I'm doing well. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for being here. Can you tell us more about who you are and what you do?
Sure. So for starters, my name is Crystal Salisbury, and I am a virtual assistant with my business, Crystal Clear Assistance. And what I do is that I support businesses, nonprofit organizations with their administrative tasks, meaning that I can help with your calendar management, email management, research, data entry. I even book travel arrangements. So pretty much a virtual assistant pretty much does anything related to admin tasks.
That sounds interesting. So there are some people on here who are speakers, coaches, they own a business, and they're wondering, when do I hire a virtual assistant? When is the best time to do it? What are your recommendations?
Honestly, the best time to do, of course, you can hire a virtual assistant right away if you have the budget for one. But when I say when you really need one is when you are basically overwhelmed in your business. You're working on your business day in and day out. There's no breaks. You're overworked. That's when you need to delegate some of those tasks to a virtual assistant. And the reason why I say it's so important to delegate, if you want your business to grow, if you want to reach the 6-figure mark, even the 7-figure mark, you're going to have to create a team. And that's when a virtual assistant comes into place, because if you're so busy responding to emails, doing the research, doing everything in your business, you don't really have time to work on your business because you're too busy working in your business, if that makes sense.
That makes a lot of sense. I've heard people say you can hustle your way to 6 figures, but when it comes to 7 figures, you need a team. You can't be doing all the things. So we're thinking about hiring a virtual assistant, and we don't know what specific task to give that assistant. How do we start to think about the assignments and how many hours we need to allocate for a virtual assistant?
Sure. So one thing I would suggest is that you get out a piece of paper. We're going to go old school right now and write out a list of the things that is needed in your business. For instance, if you have to have meetings scheduled on a day-to-day basis, you need someone to schedule your meetings. If you have to do some sort of research, if you travel a lot with your business, you may need assistance with booking your travel arrangements. I consider those non-money making tasks, checking your email, looking at your calendar, scheduling your meetings, booking your travel. Delegate those tasks to a virtual assistant, and that's going to free up so much of your time because you don't have to worry about your traveling. You're not going to worry about your scheduling your meetings or checking your email. A virtual assistant will be there to really come in and really help you with those tasks, so you can really focus on the money making aspects of your business, to really focus on the vision of your business, the purpose of your vision.
So, Crystal, I hired my first virtual assistant maybe 2 years ago. And I feel like I did all the wrong things because I knew I was overwhelmed. I knew I needed help. But when I got this virtual assistant, I probably did not assign that assistant the right task for my business. And I felt that I was losing money because I spent so much time in training that I didn't have time to do the work that was bringing me money. So what would you say are some things that we should have in place when we hire a virtual assistant to make that process smoother?
Sure. One of the things I would suggest is that going back to that list, just looking at your list of things that you do every day in your business. Let's say, I'm a business owner. I'm always checking my email. I'm scheduling meetings and creating that list of those non-money making tasks. And those are some tasks that you can delegate to a virtual assistant. I know a lot of times as a business owner, a business is our baby. So it's so hard to let go of those tasks because in our mind, we think, well, no one can do it as well as I can do it. But the reality is you're going to need help. You can't do everything in your business. You can't be the graphic designer. You can't be the schedule all your meetings. You can't check your email constantly. You can't, book all your travel. There are a lot of things that, you can do in the beginning, once you're starting out. But as your business grows and as you take on more clients, the day-to-day tasks, someone else is going to need to do that. So I suggest it's just really, being honest with yourself, making that list of those money making tasks, those, of course, as business owners, as entrepreneurs, our email inboxes are over flooded with all types of requests for meetings, requests for people to, for us to speak at different events. Have a virtual assistant really look into your email and, answer those emails on your behalf. Of course, in the beginning, they're going to have to understand your voice and how to answer those emails. But of course, in the beginning, that's, one thing I will say when you're hiring a virtual assistant, once you hire them, if it's a good virtual assistant, they're going to have what is called an onboarding call, where they're going to ask you certain questions of things that you need help with. They're going to ask for your login so they can have access to your email. So that onboarding call is key. Once, of course, you have the initial consultation call where you're kind of vetting different virtual assistants, if they're, if that person is the right fit for you. And then once you select the person, that onboarding call is where the virtual assistant really get to know who you are and the things that you need help in their business. So I think that's where the conversation needs to take place, is during that onboarding call, where the key tasks are really communicated by the business owner.
Now, Crystal, where do I find a virtual assistant? Where do they hang out? Because I know I want assistants to help me or more people, but where do I go?
Oh, we're everywhere. We're on social media. You probably see us. Honestly, I'm on TikTok. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. We're on social media. We're actually in, Facebook groups. There are a lot of business owner type Facebook groups there. They're groups where business owners hang out. There are virtual assistants in those groups. Of course, word of mouth. If you have some business besties that have virtual assistants and that virtual assistant is taking on other clients, ask your business bestie or people that are business owners who their virtual assistants are, if they recommend them, if they don't. So those are some places that I would suggest looking for virtual assistants. I know a lot of people will say, go on Fiverr. That is a place where you can find virtual assistant, but I will say this, not to speak against Fiverr, but if you want quality virtual assistants, you're going to have to invest in a virtual assistant. And a lot of times the virtual assistants that you find on like places like Upwork or maybe Fiverr may not be up to what you need for your business. So I would suggest looking on social media, looking in those Facebook groups where business owners hang out. And yeah, because we live online. We're constantly creating content. We're educating our audiences. So I would start there.
Is there a specific hashtag that we can use to find these virtual assistants on social media?
Sure, you can do hashtag virtual assistants, personal assistant is another one. So yeah, I would use those hashtags.
Okay, so we find all of these virtual assistants. What are some things we should do to vet the virtual assistants that we find?
That is a really good question. I would, first and foremost, do they have an active social media presence? Look at their social media. Also, if they have a website, normally if they do have a website, it should list, previous clients. Even during that initial consultation call, when you're meeting with a virtual assistant for the first time, ask them the hard questions. Ask them, they may not tell you exactly who their clients are by name, but ask them, what type of clients do you work with? Are they from the coaching industry, or are they from the health and wellness industry? How long have you been working with the virtual assistant? Ask them if they have any testimonials. If they're a good virtual assistant, they should have at least 2 to 3 or even more testimonials from their current or previous clients. So yeah, ask the hard questions, and they have to, and if they cannot produce that information, then you may want to look for somebody else.
And it's a two-way street. Anytime you're doing an interview, you want to make sure that the person has what you need, and the other person, the virtual assistant, want to make sure that that's a good client. Now, how do we make sure we are good clients?
That I'm glad you asked that, because that is something in my early on in my virtual assistant journey that I had to go through, and to really develop that relationship with my clients. One of the things that really helps me as a virtual assistant to better help my clients is that open door communication, really telling me what you need. Don't ghost me. I'm one of those people. I love to be in constant contact with my clients. I love to serve them to the best of my ability. If I need something, responding in a timely manner, that helps me really finish that task in a timely manner. So communication is key. Even as a client, if there's something the virtual assistant is not doing well, communicate that. For me, I have tough skin, because at the end of the day, I want to do the best I can to be of great service to my clients. So just tell your virtual assistant if something is not working, or we need to try a different route, or maybe that task is just not a good fit for that virtual assistant. And I will say this, all virtual assistants are not created equal. You do have some virtual assistants that are very good at calendar management, some that are good at email management, but they're not good social media. They're not good with social media. So that's when you should hire something like a social media manager, which is that is a virtual assistant, but they specifically do social media. So ask the hard questions about what tasks that a virtual assistant is good at. Because I've had clients ask me about certain things like, are you familiar with a certain project management tool? And I'll tell them no, but I'm willing to learn that tool. So I'm very upfront with my clients. If I know that it's not my skill set, and I'll tell them.
I'm so glad you mentioned that, because that was my downfall. I thought that my virtual assistant would be able to do anything, and no, nobody is able to do everything. They have a core skill, and you need to know what those core skills are to make sure it's a good fit for what you need. So hiring the social media manager, would be key if you are focused on social media growth instead of a virtual assistant, because they may give basic assistance instead of knowing the metrics, what time and how to really grow your channel.
True.
Okay, that makes sense. So anytime I try to hire somebody, I always think about budget and how many hours I may need a person. How much should I put aside towards a virtual assistant every week? Like, what's the average cost?
That's a very good question, Charlene, and it actually varies among virtual assistants. So, of course, your more novice virtual assistants, they're not going to charge as much as opposed to a more experienced virtual assistant. But to give you kind of like a baseline, I know for me as as a virtual assistant, I do monthly packages. I do 20 hours a month, 40 hours a month, 60 hours a month, or 80 hours a month. And a base package for maybe like a 40-hour month would be like $1,000 a month. So that's about average for a virtual assistant. So most virtual assistants are going to charge monthly. They're going to do packages as opposed to hourly.
That's good to know. And that's a good question to ask when you're looking for a virtual assistant. What are your packages? How do you charge? And how do you get paid? Do you want to get paid weekly, bi-weekly, monthly? What's your pay cycle? That is good to know. Is there anything else that we should consider when hiring a virtual assistant?
Also, time zone is key because virtual assistants can be from any different time zone. So if you're on the East Coast, you may prefer someone on the East Coast. For me, I'm on the Central Standard Time, so I pretty much can take on any type of clients. But some clients may prefer that I live in their time zone. So asking those questions, what time zone that you're currently working in, because like I said, a client may prefer you to be in a certain time zone. What else would be, of course, your capacity to take on clients, because with virtual assistants, a lot of us are taking on multiple clients, and just being upfront with a client and letting them know that you can only allocate maybe 20 hours a month or 40 hours a month. And you may be a client that needs someone that's 80 hours a month. So of course you would not be that virtual assistant for them because you can only take on so many fewer hours as opposed as another virtual assistant who can take on more hours.
That makes sense. Understanding that you are not somebody's only client. You can't monopolize your virtual assistant's time because they may have 10 other clients on their plate. Absolutely. So what's the best way to track if your virtual assistant is doing the work that you may set aside? Like, is there a certain project management tool that people use, or how else do people track it?
When it comes to tracking time, there's two ways to track. There's tracking time and tracking the actual task. So when it comes to actually tracking my time, and I'm very transparent with my clients, I actually send them reports every single month of the time that I'm utilizing to work on their tasks. Is that I use an app called Clockify. And Clockify is where you can pretty much input your task in, you can input your client's name in, and then you can hit start and start, you start working. And as soon as you start working, you hit the stop button and it stops the time, and it'll add up the time you've utilized to work on that client's task. As far as keeping up with the actual task, I use a project management tool called Asana, where I pretty much write down, I input in the Asana all of my different tasks, the subtasks for those tasks, and I'm able to keep up with all of the different tasks that my clients need. Because currently I have about, I want to say 7 clients now, between my virtual assistant and my grant writing clients, because I'm also a grant writer. So I have to create separate projects in my Asana for my 7 different clients to make sure I'm tracking all their tasks appropriately. And I'm also using the Clockify per client. So anytime I'm working on a task for that particular client, I make sure that I turn on my Clockify, work on the task. Once I'm done, turn off the Clockify, and it pretty much calculates the time that I've utilized on that specific task.
Thanks for sharing those apps. So I jotted down Clockify and Asana, which is a project management tool. There's also Trello and
Notion. It's so many out there, but I prefer Asana because it's very it's simple, easy to use.
I love Asana as well. I used to use Monday, and I've used Trello in the past too, but get a project management tool if you have a business and plan to work with other people, because it's so important to make sure everyone is on the same page and everybody understands the deadlines and requirements for each task. So thanks for bringing that up, Crystal.
And you can share and then as a virtual assistant, you can share that with your clients so they can see what tasks you're working on, which is key.
Very key. Yes, very important. So how do you manage your time as a virtual assistant? You said you have 7 clients.
Yes.
How? Let us know. What's the time management hack that you are using to do this? And you're probably taking on more clients. Is that true?
Yes, I'm actually currently taking on clients at, I did have to put a stop last year because I was at my max at 7, but I'm at a place now that I'm actually about to offboard one client. I'm going to be able to take on more clients in 2024. So one thing I'll tell people when they ask me, well, Crystal, how do you have the time to do all the things you do with your business and other activities that I have going on in my life? You have to be very conscientious of your time, meaning that every minute of my day is accounted for. I know that sounds crazy, but that's how I have to run my life. For instance, I have to have a routine where I get up in the morning at a certain time, where I take care of my morning routine. And there's a certain time that I start my work day. There's a certain time that I stop my work day. There's a certain time that I have to take care of household duties. So I'm very conscientious of my time, and I try my best not to waste time. I don't really have a whole lot of idle time. Of course, I do take breaks throughout the day because breaks are important to recharge your mind and to get back focused, but you have to be conscious of your time. And even with Asana for my business, when my clients, I also use it for Crystal to organize my life. So I use it for everything, even as simple as writing tasks like I need to vacuum the living room floor, or I need to mop the bathroom, like writing those tasks as well. Or because I also have my other brand is Crystal Clear Pageantry, where I do things in the pageantry industry. So writing those tasks down as well. So you just have to be very conscious of your time, and you have to also have family members and people that if you're living by yourself or you're living with others, just making sure that they are understanding your life and how, it's important that you're very conscious of your time as well.
Yes. At Wealthy Women Daily, we focus on making wealthy decisions for a wealthy life. Mm-hmm. How is hiring a virtual assistant going to get us closer to that wealthy life that we seek?
When I think of wealth, I don't always just think of money. And when it comes to wealth is about peace of mind. It's about health. When you hire a virtual assistant, they're able to take a lot of the tasks that you're doing, a lot of the tasks that you're stressed out about, and they're taking those tasks and taking it off your hands so you can have more peace of mind. And when you have more peace of mind, your health is better. Not only is your physical health better, your mental health, your spiritual health as well. So if you want to really get to that wealthy place, don't just think about the money aspect, because yes, hiring a virtual assistant will actually in the long run help you make more money because you're not focusing on those non-income generating tasks. Someone else is doing it, and you're able to focus on the aspect of your business that's going to make you money. So that's where the wealth part, as far as the money is concerned, but also peace of mind, also health. When you're taking on so many different tasks as an entrepreneur, it can stress you out. And we all know that stress is not good for our mind. It's not good for our body. So that's how a virtual assistant can really help you, is really get you to that place of that peace of mind, that good health, and also in the long run, helping you build a profitable business.
We are all about peace of mind, good health, building wealth in those ways. I love it. Make sure you follow Crystal on Instagram at Crystal Clear Assistance. Crystal, is there anything that we have to know before we get back into our busy lives? What should we be thinking about when it comes to hiring a virtual assistant?
I will say this: take your time. Don't rush hiring a virtual assistant. I know that you may be at a place where you're just so overwhelmed, you're burnt out, you want someone right now at this very moment, and I understand it. But this is a person that you're going to bring in that's going to know, they're going to know the most intimate parts of your business. It's somebody that you're going to need to trust, someone that you're going to value. So take your time when hiring a virtual assistant. You may go through 7 or 8 consult calls before you find that perfect fit, and that's completely okay. And also make sure that that virtual assistant understands you as a business owner, understands your needs, because at the end of the day, we work for you all. So we have to understand your needs, your wants, your desires. And in order for that to happen, you're going to have to take your time with vetting that person. And in the end, if you take the time to vet that person, you're going to be more happy with your decision, and you're going to have a much more healthy working environment with that virtual assistant.
I love it. If you are ready to make this the best year you've ever lived, get help. Don't try to do all the things on your own. Find out who your dream team is that can take you from where you are to where you want to be. So type in the comments who you need on your team to achieve the goals that you have set for yourself this year. Crystal, is there anywhere else that we can find you?
You can find me at www.crystalclearassistance.com. If you click on there, it's going to take you to my link tree, because my website is actually being worked on at the moment, but it's going to take you to my link tree, and you'll get to see different articles that have been written about me regarding my virtual assistant business. You'll see links to where you can book a call. If you're interested in hiring me as a virtual assistant, you can schedule a consult call as well. And there's also other links that may be of interest to you related to virtual assistants in general. So, and also on TikTok at Crystal Clear Official. So all your grant writing and virtual assistant content is there as well.
All right, make sure you follow Crystal. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Guess what? We just wrapped up our February Wealth, Health, and Self-Care Summit. I want to thank you for hanging with me for the last 2 hours, for investing in you, investing in your wealth, health, and self-care. We kicked off the summit with Dr. Shena Johnson, who shared her healthy habits. And then we moved into goal setting with leadership coach and goal setting coach Bossy. And then we talked about our money DNA. We moved into attracting financial abundance by being visible. What are you going to do to enhance your brand visibility? And then we talked about getting the help that you need to accomplish all the goals that we talked about. How do you find a virtual assistant to help you achieve the goals on your list? I know 2024 will be a prosperous year. I am so happy for you in advance. You have to start claiming your success in advance. Claim your victory right now. Type in the chat, what will be your victory? The next time I see you, the next summit that we see each other at, what will you have accomplished? Are you going to reach out to an accountability partner? Are you going to hire a virtual assistant? Are you going to create your content management plan? Are you going to get your budget together so that you can go towards financial freedom? What goals are you setting for yourself? Doesn't have to be some big, massive goal. Just take small steps. One step at a time, one foot in front of another. That's how all goals are achieved. And if you did not grab your copy of Dividends, Our Queen's Best Friend, make sure you do that so that you can get over your fears and get ready for that financial freedom journey, for that holistic life, for that dream that you have, because you do not want money to get in the way of you and your goals. You do not want your health to put you in a financial jam. You don't want an unexpected job situation to put you in a financial jam. Take care of your financial house now and watch what will happen, right? You'll always have that protection available when you need it. So thank you for hanging with us. Make sure you connect with the speakers. Follow me on Instagram. My Instagram handle is right there at Charlene Reinhardt. Now, I did say I was giving away something. I am giving away a copy of my book, How to Find Happiness Again. We will announce the winner at the next virtual summit, but I am going to type the winner's name in the chat. Make sure you send me your email address so that I can send you all the details you need to claim your book. I want to thank you. Thank you for inviting friends. Thank you for subscribing to the Wealthy Women Daily YouTube channel. Thank you for showing up. Thank you, speakers. Thank you, participants. Thank you. I'm going to wrap up this summit with some more self-care. We have a yoga instructor coming through who will help you with your breathing exercises. So if you are on your way to taking a nap or going to sleep, this breathing exercise will be perfect for you. Right now, we want you to relax. And that's probably a foreign word if you haven't been able to do that in quite some time. But I have a yoga instructor here who's going to guide us through some breathing exercises. We have Kaya Ann here who has been doing yoga for the last 3 years, and she's going to show us how to connect from within. Hi, Kaya.
Hi, Charlene. We're going to start off with some breath work with pranayama. So, no matter where you're at, if you're standing or sitting on the couch, driving your car, or I don't know, it just doesn't matter where you're at. We're going to take this moment to go inward. So, we're going to, if you're sitting down, sit upright onto your sit bones, lift up from the low back, relax your shoulders. Relax your jaw, relax your eyebrows. You can close your eyes or soften your gaze if you'd like. It's nice to be sitting on something, so maybe your pelvis is tilted downward. And sit up nice and tall, roll your shoulders up and back, and push all the air out of your mouth. And all together, let's take a deep inhale through our nose and hold at the top. And exhale, let out a nice sigh, like you're fogging a mirror. Inhale, fill up your belly. And then exhale. Inhale on a count of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale through your nose. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. And pull in your belly button as you exhale. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold at the top. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. This time close your mouth. 2, 3, 4. And hold at the bottom. 2, 3, 4. And take a minute to come back to a normal rhythm of breath. Slowing your breaths down, controlling the breath. Good. And sometimes when I like to go inward, something that helps me with my anxiety, helps me calm my brain down, is to cover my eyes, cover my ears, take a few deep inhales, and exhale, buzz it out like And as I inhale, fill up my belly, and then exhale to buzz it out, pulling my belly button in. And take one more deep inhale. And then exhale, Om. Om. You can uncover your ears and your eyes, and then again come back to a normal breath. I really like to do this is called buzzing bee breath, just to go inward. And this is something that helps me center myself and to just relax my nervous system. So that concludes the breathing. You could do that every morning or before bed. I find that breath work before bed really helps to go to sleep.